Hey everyone, my name's Georgia. This is my first YouTube video and I thought I'd start out with something easy and do a review of the Himi Miya gouache. I haven't had a whole heap of experience with gouache paint, but I thought this was a good place to start without spending too much money because gouache can get quite expensive. So this set is quite popular. I'm sure everyone has heard about it, particularly on YouTube, and it pops up on Amazon recommended all the time. And I was really drawn to the colors in the set and the affordability. So I did use the gouache a little bit before I filmed this video. I just did a few little sketchy kind of drawings. I followed a few Skillshare classes and tried to watch a few videos just to get an understanding of the medium and how to use it. Something that I've seen a lot of artists do with the medium is start from a wash, which you can see that I'm doing here, and just like a kind of I'd say like a light tone wash, just to up the values in some of the areas. Also, the photo that I used in this, I wasn't too concerned about the proportions, so it's quite similar, but his facial proportions are a little bit off, but I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to check that picture out. It's just a picture from Instagram that I found, and I was just drawn to the colors in the portrait. And I thought it'd be a good chance to try out a bit more like portrait painting because I don't really do much of it. I probably could have started out with something easier, but I wanted to do something that required me to blend colors. Also, sorry if my face comes into the screen a bit. I did have an issue near the end of the video, I'm really sorry, where I put it up closer and my head is half blocking the screen. I need to get used to like finding the right position because I do tend to move really close to the pictures when I'm painting. So the brushes I mainly used in this piece, I use quite fine point brushes. I can't quite remember what size they were. I'm gonna guess and say maybe a 4. I've got my brushes here actually. I'll have a look if I can find the sizes. For small details, I always use really small brushes, like around his eyes. I probably used a 0, I'd say. I was using watercolor brushes and also some, they're labeled as gouache brushes by the same brand, Miya, I think, which you'll see the pale blue kind of colored brushes there. They were perfect for this medium and I only use them for gouache. Now, it was worth buying the set, and I'd say it's worth buying some just some cheap synthetic brushes for your gouache. I wouldn't really recommend using watercolor brushes. I think they're a little bit too soft and it's a lot easier to damage them and wear them out. You can also use acrylic brushes, especially if you're using acrylic gouache, because I've already destroyed a few brushes because I wasn't really thinking, and used my watercolor brushes. But yeah, as you can see, I just kind of builded up the values in his face and his cloak. It's not perfect. Like I said, the proportions are a bit off, but you get the general idea. I had a lot of fun with this and I found that the gouache worked really well, like blending. I found it really easy to blend. It came on the page, it was quite smooth. Compared to other gouaches, I will say that it does take a bit more water to get the right consistency. Like if it's too thick, it's quite hard to get a brush stroke, if that makes sense, to get the brush stroke that you're looking for. But once you water it down enough, it works quite well. But compared to my more expensive I have mostly Holbein and Winsor & Newton designer gouache. Compared to those ones, you don't have to put much water in those ones for them to get the right consistency, whereas found with these it was a little bit more work. As you can see on my palette, like the gouache is quite built up. But in saying that, for the price, I definitely think these are worth it. They're worth it if you want to try this new medium and you're not sure if you want to invest in an expensive set. But even then, I think it's a set that you could use for so many things. If you're just making prints and not selling them, because they don't have the light fastness rating on anywhere online, or at least from what I've found. But if you're just using it for prints and pictures and stuff in your notebooks and sketchbooks, I think it's a perfect medium. It doesn't get in the way or make your work look bad. It mattifies really well compared to my more expensive gouache. I can do a side-by-side comparison in the future if you guys like. But I really think it was a worthwhile investment. Another thing that makes this such a great product is being able to have it in this large palette and being able to use it, what am I saying? I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. So being able to just use it so readily like a watercolor palette, you can get quite lazy with acrylic and tube paint, where you have to squeeze it out and set it up and then get ready, whereas this, like, you just have to pull it out and you can just start painting, which is great because it kind of motivates you more, and that's probably what makes this such a great thing to buy. Also being less expensive, I feel the more inclined to experiment and play around and do different stuff and not worry about wasting expensive paint. Some of the gouache that you can buy is really expensive. Like, I bought a tube, I think the most expensive tube that I've bought was maybe like 28 Australian dollars. Winsor & Newton is pretty expensive in Australia, some of their products. But I really think this is a worthwhile product. It is pretty hyped, it's everywhere, but I can definitely see why it's so many people are buying it and why so many people are recommending it, and I really recommend this product. So I hope I've given you guys enough information. I don't know what else is it to say. Like, you can make pretty much every color you need with this set. If you have a bit of color theory knowledge, it helps. But you can do so much, and honestly, you don't need to buy. You can get away with just 6 tubes of paint and mix so many colors with just that. This gives you more than you need, and you really don't need any more colors than what's in this set. I also really like the inclusion of 2 whites, because I definitely know I've already halfway through them. But the other good thing with the 2 whites is, as you can see, mine are quite contaminated. But having 2 whites, you can, if you want, try to use one for the dark colors and one for dipping your brush in when you're using lighter colors to avoid getting that contamination. I'm not the best at it. I'm not too picky about it. And I think that's also, it comes down to the cost of it. I'm not too worried that I'm contaminating my white paint because it's cheap anyway. Yeah, I hope this video helps you guys. I'm gonna put some music over the top for the last part of the video, and I hope you enjoy. thanks everyone for watching this video. Feel free to press the like button and subscribe. Also check out my Instagram. I'll leave a link down below. I post a lot more frequently on my Instagram at the moment, so yeah, feel free to have a look and check out some of my work. See ya!